We are all unique. We have different set of skills, we have different interests, we live in different environments, and we also face different circumstances. But we do certainly have something in common, namely time. We have the same amount of time in an hour, in a day, in a week, in a month, and in a year. But with our busy schedules, including our daily hustles, we then try to seek recreation from reading, watching movies, playing games, etc. There are of course times when we just want to have some fun without caring whether the things we are doing give us some kind of guilty pleasure or not. But I also believe that there is this longing for reading something meaningful, insightful, or even enlightening. And apparently you can find that kind of content on Webtoon.
Do you love stories? Well, I do. And when I love something, I like to talk about it. If you have the same passion for stories, then come right in. Because that's what Turi Kata Oge is all about.
Hi, welcome back to Turi Kata Oge. In this video, I will share with you a list of Webtoon series that will not make you feel guilty about spending your time reading them. The alternate title for this video would be Webtoon Series I Will Never Regret Reading, or Webtoon Series I Am Very Thankful For. Before we start, I'd like to know whether you've read any of the titles I'm going to be mentioning here, what your thoughts about them, or if you would like to add your personal recommendation to the list. You can do so by leaving a comment down below. And a little disclaimer, I do know and acknowledge that there are problems within Webtoon. I just think that these creators and their works deserve to be appreciated. Now let's move on to the list. I'll start with the lighter ones and then we'll wrap it up with something more serious, heavier, something like that.
Hi, editing me here. I'm hopping in to let you know that the earlier stories I'm going to mention in this video are indeed considerably lighter compared to the later ones, but the characters there do experience some serious things, so if any of you are experiencing somewhat similar stuff to those characters, I do not discredit what you're going through. I just hope you could go past this with your, head held high. And yeah, if you know anybody who are experiencing the same stuff, please help them, stand up for them, show kindness to one another, guys. And yeah, you're not alone. We are not alone. Fighting! Back to the video.
The first one is Your Letter. This one is the shortest one on the list with only 10 chapters to read, and it's the only story with a touch of magic in it. Isori, a middle schooler who got bullied after defending her classmate who got bullied before her, then transferred to a school located in an area she used to live in as a child. The unpleasant experience left her with anxiety and insecurities, but on her first day at the new school, Sori found a letter containing information about her new school, her class, and some clues to lead her to the next letter. As Sori followed the trail of letters, we see her exploring the little to be known world within the new school and forming new relationships, also uncovering the identity of the one who wrote the letters. This is a story about kindness and friendship that is very moving and heartwarming. I myself would reread this one day. Number 2 is After School Lessons for Unripe Apples by Sunki. This is another story about middle schoolers. Set in the late 90s, we follow Mie and Chol. Not like other cities in South Korea at that time, at least in the story, in the city where Mie lived, middle schoolers had to take entrance exam to enter high school. Therefore, a lot of middle schoolers had signed up to cram schools, but not Mie. While Mie, our girl, preferred to watch movies, hang out with her friends, and reading comics. One day, a boy Mie once met when she was on a vacation in the countryside transferred to her school. Not only that, apparently the boy, Chol, and his whole family also moved into the apartment building next to Mie's. While Mie was so eager to befriend Chol, he didn't seem to want to have anything to do with her. We basically are going to witness their budding relationship and how they went through their final year at middle school. The events happening in the story and the interactions between characters are handled so very naturally. One could totally relate to what these kids are experiencing. And this is a story I would definitely treasure. My suggestion is to read it one chapter at a time, especially during the weekend, or at the maximum, I think 3, I guess. The reason behind that is that there are many subtle details that you just want to observe and enjoy the story at a decent pace. It is always a perfect dose to get you smiling, cackling, or even squealing at times. I just love this story and the characters so very much. The next ones are gonna be stories that could pull you back to reality in one way or another. And the next story is Romance 101 or Proper Dating Guide by Namsu. Although this one is very realistic, it's still super enjoyable to read. So the main character, the main girl, is Jongbaram. She is a super diligent and very well organized college student who had never dated anyone in her life. One day she met Jaehyun, her best friend's coworker, who was also the president of a programming club at their university. She then developed a huge crush on him, but somehow kept bumping into Yuyeon, Jaehyun's friend, who was this avid gamer, a pretty popular and cool guy at their university, not the best student, and secretly loves cute things. As you can tell from the title, the story, Romance 101, explore romantic relationships, what will make them or break them. And not only are we going to see that through the main characters, but also through the supporting characters and their relationships. The characters in the story feel very real, from the way they think, the way they react to things, the way they interact with each other. I can totally see these people in real life. Well, of course, romantic relationship is not the only theme that this story will explore. It also explores themes such as dreams, careers, other kinds of relationships, etc. As I said, this story is fun and hilarious at times, but it can also pull your heartstrings without even giving you major dramatic events. I highly recommend this series if you would like to dive into the matter of relationships. Next up is Get Schooled or The Real Lesson. The banning of corporal punishments towards students led many of them acting wildly towards other students and also toward the teachers. Until one day a teacher got killed by a student 2 years before the main timeline of the story. Thus, the Ministry of Education then formed an organization called the Teachers' Rights Protection Agency. Nahwajin, the main character, is the first warden of this organization. In this story, we are going to follow him and later another warden going to one school at a time to observe the situations there, meet the people connected to the cases, and also, of course, solve the problems there. As I always say, though I love the story so very much, it doesn't necessarily mean that I agree with every single action taken in the story. I think the aim of the story is to present some issues to the readers and make people aware of them, which is done very well by the creators. Get Schooled touches on themes such as bullying, violence, abuse of power, teaching methods, disciplinary methods, forgiveness even, and a lot of other things. This story can be brutal, gut-wrenching, thought-provoking, and even bittersweet sometimes. Number 5 is The Boxer. I've made a whole video babbling vaguely about this story. If you want to check it out, you can click this card right here or check the link down in the description box. The story obviously revolves around boxing, but it's quite different from many other sports comics. We're essentially going to look at life through the lens of boxing. Through many characters, we're going to see how people view life, why they, or rather we, act the way they act, and then see what's the problem with that view/belief and what frees them from that problem. While reading this story, one could tell that this story is infused with so much empathy, which is demonstrated by the author so very wonderfully. The boxer touches on various themes under the same umbrella, which is life, and then explore those themes in such a profound way. Not only it showcases or portrays the harsh and painful reality of life, of us humans, it also presents us with the other side to it. Or should I say, we are presented with the whole truth of our reality, of our life, of us. This manhwa somehow helps us to embrace that reality and also encourage us to keep pushing, keep living, which I really appreciate. This is unlike other stories I've ever read, to be honest. And yeah, this is a completed series, so if you're gonna read it in English, German, or other languages, you're gonna need daily passes. Fortunately for you, my friends who speak Bahasa Indonesia, who understand Bahasa Indonesia, you could read the boxer without any limitation. Or if you have some cash to spend, the first volume of the printed edition is already available in French, and I believe the English one would be released on December 2022, but still, it's just the first volume, so we still have a long way to go. The next one is actually a bonus, and the title is The Horizon. It is created by the same author as The Boxer, who is Jung Ji-hoon or JH. This is a bonus because I haven't read it. Well, to be fair, I've read the first episode way before I started reading The Boxer, but at that time I just thought that the story was a bit too heavy for me. But now, I think I need to set a proper time and be mentally and emotionally prepared to read this story. This is because of the things that I've heard about the story, one of which is that it's best to read the entire 21 chapters in one sitting. And so what's the story about? In this story, we see the world during a raging war, and we meet a boy who lost his mother because of the war. He then walked and met this girl who also got orphaned, probably because of the war. These two individuals then walk together in one direction, and they're gonna see things, meet people. Basically, we're going to see them face the reality of war, of humanity, and of life itself. That's all I know about the story. And I've watched quite a few videos talking about The Horizon, and someone said that he couldn't stop crying while reading the last 10 chapters of the story, which is crazy. Bottom line, I believe that The Horizon would be a gut-wrenching, meaningful, insightful story, just like The Boxer. So yeah, let's read it, guys. And that, my friend, concludes this video. If you have read any of the titles I mentioned earlier and you have any thoughts about them, please let me know in the comment section below. Or again, if you have any other webtoon series that you think would be fitting for this category, you can tell me in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. Every kind of support is very well appreciated here. And yeah, thank you so much for staying with me until the end of the video. I wish you health and joy, and have a great time living your life in a story way greater than you could ever imagine. See you in another video. Bye!